Hello everybody, my name's Melissa Rogerson and I'm presenting this research on behalf of my co-authors, Lucy Sparrow and Martin Gibbs. When we think about tabletop gaming and tabletop games, we typically think about these very situated material practices. There's lots of paper, there are physical screens, there's co-location around a table, and there are dice and miniatures and hand-drawn maps and probably a good collection of wooden cubes. But increasingly, we're seeing digital tools coming into this space that are used not only to support this play, but to enact it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about hybrid digital board games, which are part of this shift in how the boundaries of traditional tabletop gaming are being expanded by a whole range of digital tools. This work is supported by Game in Lab, an industry-funded not-for-profit organisation dedicated to supporting research into tabletop games. And this research really started with board games like this, The Lord of the Rings Journeys in Middle-earth, which used digital tools as a necessary part of the tabletop game experience. This game incorporates an app which controls what goes out on the board, so what the map looks like, what creatures live there, and it also takes on the role of the various evil forces that the players need to defeat. And looking at these games brought us to this definition of hybrid digital board games, which reflects that these games are a compound artefact that necessarily combines a physical and a digital element. They're not one or the other, so it's a form of material hybridity rather than hybridity of genre or of story. And we wanted to understand how digital tools contribute to this material hybridity. To understand this space, we started with an exploratory online survey collecting examples of hybrid digital board games and stories about people's experiences with them. And then I interviewed 18 people working in the board game industry. And this wasn't, your friend down the road who's designed a new Monopoly knockoff. These are people who are very influential and respected in both the hobbyist community and who've had really significant commercial success as well. We started to hold some critical play sessions where we would play a game and then reflect on how it was using digital tools, but they were interrupted by COVID, although we did manage to play some at our homes during lockdown. And lastly, we used card sorting techniques, affinity mapping techniques, to group and sort our ideas and to test those groupings. Building on all of that data, we developed a model where we conceptualised 41 different functions that digital technology performs in hybrid digital board games. This is the overall view of the model. And in our paper, we describe each of these and we give examples of where the function is used in commercial games. Here you can see the 8 top-level domains that we identified: timing, randomising, housekeeping, informing, storytelling, remembering, calculating, and teaching. And here's a breakdown of the timing domain, for example. So it's about counting down time, but also about tracking and limiting the time available to the players and initiating and coordinating events. So you can see there's really quite a diversity of functions that we've identified, but also a really strong logic that holds each domain together. And our paper goes into each of these in detail with examples of games that use the features. So for example, the board game XCOM keeps track of time, but also prompts players when it's time for different roles to take an action. The housekeeping domain is about choosing and tracking components and configurations, including players. So in the search for Planet X, for example, the game selects or generates a solar system which includes particular objects in particular hidden locations that the players need to deduce. And of course, our paper doesn't contain exhaustive lists of all the games that use these functions, but rather illustrative examples to assist people to understand what those functions are useful for. The model is really a contribution in itself. It sets up a language and a structure for discussing these different tools. It's valuable for us as researchers, but it's also really valuable for people who are working in this novel design space. And we've had some fantastic feedback from the people we've shared it with so far, so we're confident that the value extends beyond academia to board game and even digital game designers. Thank you so much for your time. I'm really happy to take any questions either here or offline.